Welcome to LilyTube, and please take a quick moment to subscribe and hit the bell so you'll get notice of all our great content hot off the press. This video has been funded by Loans by Vicky, the best loan officer around. If you've been interested in buying a home recently, Vicky's the right pick for you. She makes things easy and communication is effortless. With access to dozens of lenders, it's no surprise that she has the best rates we've seen. Loans by Vicky, the smoothest option to getting settled into the home of your dreams.
I think dreaming is highly underrated. When the heavens and the earth were created for us, they were first envisioned and they were talked about. There was a creative plan for that creation. All things are created spiritually before they are manifested physically. A little imaginative dreaming has the power to create miraculous results. We actually do have the power to create our lives on purpose with a little creative imagination combined with faith.
Cathy, have you seen the recent Webb Space Telescope photos? They show all of these amazing different colored stars from deep into space. Well, I heard recently that scientists have tried to count all the stars as far out as we've been able to look. And of course, no one has been able to do it. But they actually show that there are more stars than there are grains of sand on all the beaches on Earth together.
Wow. It's almost incomprehensible, right?
Right. And yet, there's a design in it. There's beauty as well as function. It shows the effort of an intentional supreme being.
Who knows how to do impossible things?
Right.
My favorite part of Alice in Wonderland is when Alice laughed and said, "There's no use in trying. One simply cannot believe impossible things." To which the Queen replied, "I dare say you haven't had much practice. Well, when I was younger, I always did it for half hour a day. Why, sometimes I believed as many as 6 impossible things before breakfast." What would happen if we all took a little time each day to imagine the things we want?
You know, there are some seemingly impossible things we're trying to believe in right now. They only really feel impossible because of the limitations we put on them with our human brain. Our brain is a very powerful tool. It allows us to envision things before they even happen. Whether it's a great job, a great relationship, or anything else you may want to achieve in life, our brain is where that begins. The proverb, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he," is important. And I believe that honestly, everything we do begins with our thoughts.
It's come to my awareness recently that the thoughts we've been thinking, the actions we've taken, the choices we've made, all have created the life we're living right now. So our past has defined our present. But what that means is that we can either continue choosing the same thoughts, the same choices, the same actions, and continue having the same life experience, or we can make different choices. We can create whatever we want in the future with those choices we make now.
I agree, Cathy. And when we think about thoughts, thinking about thoughts, that's kind of a paradox, isn't it? But thinking about thoughts, sow a thought, reap an act. Sow an act, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap an eternal destiny. You ever heard that proverb? The idea is that it all begins with our thoughts. Moreover, folks, the real reason we want anything we want, whether it's a fast car, a beautiful wife, a amazing job, whatever it is, we want to feel certain things. That's really why we want anything that we want. And where do feelings originate? They originate in our human brain.
You know, that's right, Jeff. And I'd like to illustrate that with a little story. I call this story The Power of Yet. I'm a violin teacher, and many years ago I had a student who was practicing with her dad. So I teach the Suzuki method of violin, and that means the parent is quite involved. They come to lessons, they take notes, they go home, they practice with their child. And he was practicing with her, and she kept saying, "I can't get it. I don't get it. It's not happening." And he got so frustrated eventually that he took a black magic marker and wrote on their living room wall about this big. They sent me a picture of it. And it said, "Yet," in capital letters with an exclamation point.
Wow.
Yeah, it was that important to drive home the thought in his daughter that just because she didn't get it yet didn't mean that it's over. And how many of us give up because it hasn't happened yet?
My great-grandfather was once a wealthy man and lost all his money and was deep in debt, ultimately paid it all back, but he made this statement that my mother used to quote all the time: "I will never be beat until I quit, and I'll never quit, so I'll never be beat."
Ah, I love that. That's kind of a similar...
Right.
Yeah. Our mind tries to tell us what is possible based on our past experience, even maybe with our experience that just barely happened. Can any of you relate with this? And do we really want our limited past to define our entire future? Or would we rather imagine and intentionally create an unlimited future? You know, it seems to me that dreaming, imagining, and building faith in good things to come is a far better option.
Cathy, you know, sometimes believing impossible things requires a shift in mindset, which we help do in our coaching practice to help clients get unstuck, start making progress toward creating the life of their dreams. Sometimes we also need to look at our hearts and consider a mighty change of heart, which I think is the central message of the Book of Mormon.
Well, and a change of heart can really come with a change of mind. And that's why there's that proverb, "As a man thinketh, so is he." And what are we if not what we are in our hearts and inside of us? So that's why thought work is so important. That's why we coach, and that's why we love coaching, because it can make such a profound impact and change the trajectory of an entire life.
You know, I once had a therapist tell me that there are kind of two modes of thinking. One is that organized way that we focus on completing tasks or whatever. The other side is the sort of random, all over the place thoughts that we're experiencing.
Chaos.
Most of the time. And she made an interesting point that most creative endeavor happens in that chaotic side. That most of problem solving happens on that side. That side is the side where we envision what can be before it's even in front of us. And with that, then that other side that orders things, that, you know, structures things, can help us to implement that creativity in a way that makes it useful.
That's really interesting. You know, all of these thoughts just can kind of bring me back full circle to believing impossible things, or at least what we think might be impossible, and adding the power of yet. Thanks so much for watching this video. Even if it feels impossible or way out there, we'd love to hear the dream you'd like to manifest. Please share in the comments. And remember, anytime is a great time for more love in your life.
Thanks for watching.